Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles can indicate a period of very hard work. This does not have to be a negative thing, but you must be prepared for it. Think about what it is that you are working for. This work can be personal or professional. Be prepared to ask for help if you need it. General. The Eight of Pentacles in general points to necessary efforts. You will have a lot on your plate that you must accomplish. Dedication to the tasks at hand is important and admirable, but working for its own sake can be counterproductive. Be clear on what you are trying to accomplish. Strive for balance. No one can or should work all the time. Work. If you are seeking employment, this card can indicate that you will be hired into a new position that tests your skills and is demanding. Have faith in yourself, that you can do what is needed to be successful in the position. If you are currently working, you may be saddled with far more responsibility and tasks than can be accomplished well. Don't hesitate to request assistance from supervisors with prioritizing. You can only do so much. Be realistic. Love. If you are currently committed, your workload or that of your partner may be interfering with the relationship. Make a point to make time and space for the relationship regardless of your jobs, otherwise things will suffer. If you are looking for love, the appearance of this card often tells us that you are actually too focused on money and what you do for a living to really create space in your life for a new relationship. Consider your priorities and where your time and energy goes. If you want love, make sure you have room for it. Finances. The Eight of Pentacles can tell you that you may receive financial assistance that you have been waiting for or hoping for. However, you don't want to squander these resources. Be cautious and circumspect. Think long term. This is not a time to gamble. Money coming to you now comes as a result of work, not luck. Health. You may need to take action in order to improve your health status. Even if you are paralyzed from the neck down, there are things that you can actively do to help yourself. Think about what these things might be, and then follow through. Every action makes a difference. Think positively. Spirituality. Consider the spiritual aspect of life with regard to your working life, whether or not you work at a traditional job. Why are you doing what you are doing? What growth are you creating? You will benefit from actively reading more about spirituality and talking with those who come from belief systems other than your own. Be open, and you will benefit. Tarot history. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called carte de triomphe. Around 1530 the word tarocchi began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as tarot and the French tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and 2 male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gabellin and the Comte de Mellet in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the Trumps and the Fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, Pentacles and Wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. So care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waite-Smith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909. Not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.